Kindie Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindie crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindie rock stars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindie Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindie Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Hello, everyone. I am so happy tonight to have with me Emma and Trevor from the ZING ZANGS. Tonight, we'll be doing an album feature of their upcoming album. But guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Hello, thank you.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourselves and what got you into Kindie music.
Well, we're the ZING ZANGS. We're based in Vancouver. And wow, what got us into Kindie, I think, for me, it was I was a big Kindie fan, and I did some radio and stuff like that. I kind of grew up on Kindie, and then I met Emma much later in life, sort of in our teenage years, and we started writing songs together, and then it kind of came full circle. That's my side of the story. I'm being very selfish, but we started writing songs together, and eventually that kind of became our Kindie project, and now we're the ZING ZANGS.
Very cool name, by the way. Emma, how about you? What's your story and background?
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense to start with Trevor because really, like, he invited me onto the project, which I'm obviously very grateful for. But I started working with kids, like, all through, like, just volunteering and doing a lot of work with, musical theater, that kind of stuff, all through high school. And then and I'd always written my own music, just like kind of singer-songwriter stuff, but never really shared much of it. So I didn't know much about Kindie before Trevor asked me to be a part of the project, but it did seem to line up with things that I'd been a part of before, so it was really cool to combine those interests.
Very cool. Yeah, I know a lot of the people I talked to, I would say 90% of them got into Kindie music because they had kids.
Well, we have no kids to announce. We have no kids at the moment.
All right. Well, we are going to do an album feature. And so your album is called The Good Day.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this album. I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what went into kind of the overall theme, how you approached piecing it all together?
Yeah. Do you want me to take this, Emma? Or?
Yeah, go for it.
I think once we started the ZING ZANGS, we didn't really know what we were going for right away. And then that quickly became our album when we reached out and connected with Dean Jones in 2020. And Dean Jones is just this amazing producer. He's produced so many of our influences, and it was truly sort of a dream since I was a kid to work with him as soon as I started making music. So it was really a dream come true to work with him and connect with him. And he really helped us kind of piece it all together and pick and choose our songs. And basically the more songs we wrote, the more it became an album. And I think we always kind of, right from the start, once we started writing songs, we really wanted them to piece together into like a nice little project of its own rather than just singles or things like that. And obviously in the last few years, there were a lot of opportunities to play concerts and things like that. So an album seemed to kind of be our goal. And I think it came out into a really nice little piece because it actually starts in the morning and ends in the night. It kind of like tells the story of two friends throughout one day and just kind of the adventures that they have, which is sort of autobiographical for us. So it was really sweet.
And this is your debut album, correct?
Yes, the first ever.
So how did the dynamic between the two of you work out? Is one like a primary songwriter? And what's the creative process with you two?
That's a good question. I think at first, like, we were just writing our own stuff. Like, there are some songs that Trevor wrote mostly by himself and some songs that I wrote mostly by myself. But then towards the end of the writing process, we were writing together, and that was the most fun.
Yeah, I think it came out quite 50-50 too. The album is almost the exact same amount of like more Trevor driven songs, more Emma driven songs, and then our collabs. Like I think it's almost truly an exact percentage of our shares in the Zing Zangs. Yeah.
All right. So what are your plans now when this album is out?
See if people like it. We've been enjoying like hearing from people and seeing kids connect with it, and it's been so cool seeing where the songs go, especially now that we finished them and we're sort of on a break ourselves. It's really been magical in a way to see the songs take a life of their own, and who likes different songs over other songs, and what shows they're all playing on. It's really been very music focused at the moment, which is really cool. And I think for both of us, the next steps would just sort of be to push ourselves as creatives. I think that both of us enjoyed mixing it up. So now that we made this beautiful little album, I think we want to make something different, maybe some different mediums if we get the opportunity to, and just see where it goes from here. I'd love to play concerts too.
Yeah. Have you done any music videos yet, or is that in the works?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Many.
we filmed so many. We haven't edited them yet, but we had like a nuts, like 2-week period where we were just like filming every day, and it was
9 videos in total in 2 weeks. It was really fun.
It was during the heat wave too, so we were getting up so early to try and dodge the heat wave that BC saw last summer. Yeah, it was intense.
All right. Well, are we ready to get into the song features?
Alrighty.
All right. Well, we're going to kick it off with the song Chatterbox. So talk about this one. What inspired that one, or who inspired that one?
That's a good question.
This one was a Trevor one that came a bit later in the album, but I think we weren't even thinking of adding more songs at that time, and it was just sort of something that came out of me. I don't know where it came out of, but I recorded it as a demo and sent it to Emma, sort of just thinking that maybe we'd record it later in the future, and but Emma liked it so much that I was like, okay, maybe. And then we added Emma's vocal to that demo, and then that demo ended up being what Dean took and produced and turned into this song. So it was sort of it was a much quicker process than some of the other songs took, where we did like 3 tries at it and got it right. So yeah.
All right.
You have to do the reveal of who the Chatterbox is.
Oh, that's true. I'm so sorry.
So there is a who that inspired it.
There is a who. His name is Mr. Hart. He's a teacher I have over at acting school here in LA. And he's just this wonderful teacher. And it was actually during when we were recording the album, I had some classes on Zoom with him. And he loves to chat. And he always calls himself, oh, I'm such a chatterbox, and always apologizes for it. And I felt like that as a kid too. And I feel like many kids are kind of told by authority figures at some point in their lives to kind of shut it down a bit. And I wanted to create a song that celebrated talking and sort of encouraged kids to get their thoughts out, including my young self, I guess. Maybe it's sort of a love letter to my young self mixed with my current teacher.
That is a word that is timeless. I remember hearing the word when I was a kid, and I don't want to give away my age here, but that was a while ago. So this word has lasted.
Yes, it has. So I thought it was time we put it in a positive context.
There you go. All right, well, let's check it out. Here is Chatterbox by the Zing Zangs.
Did you know marbles are made of glass? But they wouldn't call them glasses because there's already glasses that you put on your head to wear on your face. Also, the glasses you drink out of.
You waltz in with your fancy shoes, you say hello, how do you do? And I know that is only just the start. So I sit down, open up my ears, listen to the words you want me to hear as you begin to open up your heart. Chatterbox. You love conversation. Chatterbox. Without hesitation, you open up your mind and let the thoughts run free. Speech bubbles linger above you, and there's one thing that I'm sure of. You can chat all day to me.
class are unusual today. I'd say they have stratus and then cumulus and stratustimulus, maybe statocumulus, nipple-cranulus. I believe those in the class. What's the guy right now? It looks like it's going to rain, or rain. Most people don't know the difference between sleet and hail.
Other folks, they get too busy with their cares and worries. Thick briefcases, lots of places to get to in a hurry. But you, my friend, have found the secret to a happy life. You talk about the joyful things that keep your noggin bright. Oh, Chatterbox,
Full of information,
Chatterbox.
with perfect dictation, you open up your mind and let the thoughts run free. Speech bubbles linger above you, and there's one thing that I'm sure of. You can chat, 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 all day to me.
Some things are exactly true. That is true. I will give you that.
All right, that was Chatterbox by the Zing Zangs. So the next song we're going to feature is called Hide and Seek, and you had a guest on this song called Mr. Cookie Jar. So tell us how all that came together.
Well, this song is sort of wild to us. I think me and Emma have been talking about this, and we recorded these songs pretty much a year ago, and this one seems like the most foggy memory. It kind of just manifested itself, and it feels apart. It feels above us at this point. It sort of has a life of its own, but people are really liking it. And of course, a big part of that is thanks to Mr. Cookie Jar, who's an old friend of mine. I worked with him first in 2013, I think. So any chance I get to work with him is always a blast. And yeah, we just, it was between Dean and CJ. I think those are our only guests on this album, and it was just sort of, it felt very friendly. Like we just included two of the most supportive, lovely people in Kindie, and Dean making the album, we had to put him on Chatterbox. And then with CJ, it was like we just had to. He's such an old friend and such an iconic little guy. I don't know why I described him like that, but I love his music. I just think he can't be heard enough, and we were very lucky to work with them on it, and he killed it. He helped us write a lot of it, but that's what I like about this song, actually, personally, is that it has all three of us kind of imprinted into the song, because there's me with my first verse, and then CJ obviously took his verse, and then Emma's part is so Emma. So I think even though it's a wild, funky, crazy song, like we're seeing it in playlists next to Kids Bop and Imagination Movers and all these, like bump it jams, and but I think it's so cool that we maintained ourselves, each of us, kind of into the jam. I don't know if that's a good description.
My memory associated with Hide and Seek is that it's the first time I ever showed you anything that I'd written. I don't know if you remember that, but I before that point I wasn't really like you didn't really invite me in as a songwriter necessarily. I hadn't really shared anything that I'd written.
That's true.
Yeah, and then I wrote the bridge.
That's true.
Gotcha. So yeah, I was going to ask before you had said anything whether or not you wrote that song first and then the Mr. Cookie Jar piece came in, or whether that was a joint effort. So very cool. No, this is a fun song.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, everyone, prepare for a treat. Here it is, Hide and Seek, featuring Mr. Cookie Jar by the Zing Zangs.
Hide and seek. I'll put my hands over my eyes. You can find a place to hide and I won't peek. Hide and seek.
That's right.
Well, the search party is going, and you know I'm gonna keep my winning streak.
Competitive I is.
I'm looking everywhere, so far very unaware. Heard your giggle in the air and turned around, but you're not there. Maybe I try singing all the lyrics to your favorite song.
Hope that you just can't resist the urge to stop and sing along.
Are you here? Are you there? Can you feel my sneaky stare? Tried to yell out Marco, but there was no polo anywhere. Can't find your location, it's leading to frustration. Did you forget about our game and take a long vacation? Hide and seek.
I'll put my hands over my eyes. You can find a place to hide and I won't peek.
Probably.
Hey, wait a second.
Hide and seek.
What you mean, probably?
party is going, and you know I'm gonna keep my winning streak.
Hide and seek, is it on? Oh, you bet it is. If you seek, I'ma hide any evidence that I was here or there, scan the premises. Couch, cookie crumbs slipping in the crevices. I'm the silliest when I'm in my element. That's when you can spot me like a skinny pink elephant, frozen in the pose with my giant stuffed Jolly Bee. When you see me, I'ma be like Ali, accent free.
Game, my friends, has just begun. Gonna search all day till the searching is done. Ready or not, here I come. Getting warmer, think you're hiding here. Tell me, are you in this room? Oops, I'll quiet down so you won't know I'm near. Something's moving, oh, a clue. Is that blanket hiding you? Creep behind me for too long. I see you lying there. I hold my breath and then the song goes. Hide, hide and seek.
Let's go, 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 let's
The game
go.
is nearly over and I don't want you to know I'm getting weak.
I think I'm breathing too loud.
Hide, hide and seek. Cause I looked all afternoon, and if I don't find you soon, I'm gonna freak.
Well, I know everyone enjoyed Hide and Seek. The next song we're going to talk about is called Shadows Dance. So tell us a little bit about this song.
So Shadows Dance was, I think, the second thing that I wrote for the project. And it was written just kind of like Trevor had made like a random list of like topics for songs. And I just kind of grabbed one and was like, I could try and write this over the weekend. And I was thinking of, one of them was shadow puppets. And I was thinking of like this really vague childhood memory of my neighbor's house, and like in her garage or something, and her parents doing shadow puppets. And I was like really like just the haziest memory. Like I'm not even sure if it happened, but I think like that kind of stuff can feel the warmest to think back on. So I was just kind of trying to remember the feeling of being in her garage as a kid, and that's where it came from.
Well, here we go. This is Shadows Dance by the Zing Zangs.
Shadows dance across the kitchen wall, beckoning, come one, come all. Huddle close, we'll wander through the scene, catching whispers from a place unseen. How dreamy are the hours we spend with shadows out to play. From when I first open my eyes, I can't wait for the end of the day. Doves soar in the corners of the room. We've got quite a zoo. There's a kid who's waving from the wall. They look like me, but tall. Oh, how I love the world we found, where all the light shines through, making mountains afar under twinkle light stars, and sharing it with you.
Was Shadows Dance by the Zing Zangs. All right, moving on to the next song. This one is called Park Song. Tell us a little bit about this one.
I love this song. This has kind of become my favorite because I think it's such a memory. It's not one that came from a topic or something that we tried to write about as much as it was just sort of from our hearts. I kind of wrote this as a friendship love letter to Emma, in my verse, and then just handed it to her and said, "Do you got anything?" And then Emma wrote her verse, and it's just a is truly a friendship anthem. I think it's really sweet, and not just that, but I think it's very genuine. It might be the most genuine song we have on the album when it comes to the two of us, both in the sound of it and also the lyrics.
Yeah, that's not something I realized when we were writing it so much. Like, it just felt like all of the other ones, because I think they all felt really genuine to write. But then now that people are hearing it, I'm getting that feeling of like, oh gosh, like this is really like my heart on display here. It definitely feels like, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a timestamp too, to making the album. Like, I get so much imagery when I listen to this personally. So I hope that kids and adults alike, I hope that they get that same kind of imagery about their friends and yeah, we're nature kids, whether we like it or not, growing up in BC. So I think it had to be about a park, but I think really it's about friendship.
I have to say, is it about Stanley Park?
It could have been. If we were a little closer to the city, I think it would have been.
All right. Well, let's check this one out. Here is Park Song by the Zing Zangs.
Meet you in the park at noon. I may take a little while, but you know I'll be there soon. Then I can strum the chord and you write the line. The melody just kicks in every time. And I know that we've got a ways to go. And I know there'll be times when I'm alone. I could fly right through the clouds, take a trip up to the moon, but I'll never find another friend like you.
Sometimes I don't really like to sing. I'd rather button up my lip and not share anything. But I know there's no better place to hide than with you watching movies warm inside. And I know that we've got a ways to go. And I know there'll be times when I'm alone. I could wander anywhere, who knows what I'll get up to. Still I know I've always got a friend like you. Oh, we'll grow up or so I'm told. Let the new chapters unfold. We may go down separate roads, I know.
Meet you in the dark under the moon. We'll just stay a little while, 'cause it's getting cold out soon. But for now, the stars are out, and I wrote this little tune. I'm so happy that I found a friend like you.
And that was Park Song. All right, the last song we're going to talk about is called Let's Start a Band. So kind of a self-explanatory title, but tell us a little more about it.
I think this one's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, because my memory of writing it is my favorite. This is the first time that we collaborated with songwriting, and I remember you had the chorus, and I wasn't really sure if I liked it. I was like, we weren't sure if we were gonna run with it. And then I was like, I guess I could try and write. We had no verses or anything. We just had a chorus, and I was like, I guess I could try and write a verse. And you were in class on Zoom, doing British accents or something. You were in acting class, and I was just across from you, behind the camera, trying to write a verse, and then you would mute your microphone, and I'd play you a few lines, and is this good? And you'd be like, yeah, keep going. And as soon as your class got out, you went to the other room and wrote the second verse and stuff, and then we recorded it that day, I think. So it was very ad hoc. It was lots of fun.
Very autobiographical, probably the most, just by the title itself even. But I mean, it's probably the most first album song you could have as a Kindie artist. But also, I think, and I agree that we didn't know if we were really going to run with it. As it almost was indulgent to Dean Jones. Just we love his stuff with the Okie Dokie Brothers, and I think we were as soon as Dean signed on, we were like, we got to have a song that lets Dean go wild.
Yeah,
with
and
his signature.
Yeah, we knew he'd had a bunch of instruments too. So that part where we were we could totally have some instrument features here. We're just like begging, like hoping he'd said something back that had as much like wacky instruments as
And
possible.
he nailed it. I think this was also the first song we ever got back from Dean.
Yeah, it was.
Because we were doing it long distance. Like we'd send our demos and our song and then he'd return it. And that was the first one we ever got. And I just remember my jaw dropped hearing all the different instruments because he truly transformed the song into this little jug band masterpiece. If I'm allowed to say so. And yeah, it was just such a magical memory I have of that. I agree.
All right, well, let's check it out. The song that kickstarted the Zing Zangs. Here is Let's Start a Band.
A sleepy Sunday, cooped up inside, tapping fingers on the tabletop, just watching how the sun goes wandering by. So let's raid the kitchen, grab all we can get, then take my hand and join me in my best idea yet. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. I bet that all these instruments could use an extra hand. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. Let's start a band and write a song that only we will understand. The ideas are flowing, notes fill up the page. Our stuffies are our audience and the countertops our stage. We'll write a catchy ditty or a meaningful lament. Our cat will be our meownager and we'll owe him 10%. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. Sing it loud, don't worry if it don't come out as planned. Let's start a band. Let's start a band. Let's start a band and write a song that only we will understand.
We don't need a drum set, we can bang on pans and pots. Blow into this bottle and let's see what sound we got. Hold two spoons together and then knock 'em on your knee. I'll do my best to whistle up a brand new melody. Alright, come on.
And one day we'll become big stars and eat nice meals in fancy cars. But right now in this kitchen I'm content. So let's play our songs and sing them loud. Oh, won't our family be so proud when our platinum selling album pays the rent.
That was Let's Start a Band. All right, the album feature here today is The Good Day by the Zing Zangs, their debut album. So by all means, I know you enjoyed those 5 songs. I bet the rest of the songs are just as good, if not better. But guys, tell us how people can find and download your music and how they can connect with you on social media.
Yeah, we're kind of everywhere. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those internet places. And also, yeah, you can stream us basically anywhere. And our album comes out May 6th. So all of our singles are there at the moment. But yeah, we appreciate your support. And yeah, if you like the songs, send us a message. Let us know. Thank you. Yeah, and thank you, Patrick, for having us.
You got it. Thank you so much for being on the show. Been a lot of fun. It's been a pleasure, and best of luck to both of you with this debut.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.